it feels like this is a roster that is Jokic, please save us. Like, just, you got to go out there and be the best player in the world. You got to go out there and be, the engine that you are. And that could get you so far, but you're also banking on him to not be the worst defender, when it comes to rim protection and getting beat off the perimeter. And when you have such a huge load offensively, Jokic already is battling such an uphill battle defensively. It's something that is asking too much from him.
Yeah.
So I think for Cleveland, it's obviously a big get. You're having an overall talent upgrade to the team. I don't really believe in this core four as is. So Payne Watson again doesn't make me believe in them all of a sudden. I think they have their own issues that I don't know if it ever gets sorted out. But Denver's the most interesting because they have arguably the best player in the world, top 3 at worst, and you lose Payne Watson and you bring in DeMar DeRozan. And I think DeMar for like an 82 game season, cool. Like, yeah, he could, be someone off the bench that can handle the ball and create some offense for himself. But you're not selling me like that's moving the bar in the playoffs.
The one thing I have to add is that Denver is talented enough to contend. I mean, they're the best offense in the NBA last year. When you have Nikola Jokic in his prime, every single year you have a top 4 player, the best franchise player in franchise history. You have to make smart moves ahead. And when you're investing millions in the front offices, they should be able to understand the market. Like, I agree, Christian Brown can bounce back and have a better season. But when we saw him not be able to guard Anthony Edwards or a Luka or these elite marquee players, and the Nuggets were paying him to do that a year early,
I guess that's fair.
That's a front office completely missing the market entirely. I mean, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope didn't get the same amount of money, and he was a way better shooter and a more established 3-and-D player, right? And so for Denver to miss out on that, there was a world where you could have kept Payne Watson and then maybe extended Christian Brown, and then maybe if not, you get a Spencer Jones instead, and they're in a better spot. At the end of the day, it's just a huge missed opportunity, and it's a lot more likely that Jokic doesn't extend because this core it's an elite offense, but they're not giving him the absolute best chance to contend. And it's just frustrating as a fan of the team because you see it, and it's just like very avoidable moves that have continued to ruin and kind of torpedo their chances of contending at the highest level.
I'm just going to say, I'm not going to hold it against a role player, even if it may be his job, that he can't stop Anthony Edwards. Yeah. I'm not going to hold it against him.
That's fine, but he's got to be guardable from 3, and none of those teams are respecting him from 3 at all.
And he struggled bad.
3 attempts a game, getting left wide open, and he's hitting them at a 37% clip, but it's prone to variance with such a small volume. And he's wide open. It's like you're not adding any floor spacing. He had some durability issues this year. I think it was the worst possible. It was the floor.
Injury hindered
Christian
him, in
Brown.
my opinion, more than anything else.
But you're not a stopper, and you're also not a respectable 3-point shooter, and you're being tasked to be the lead 3-and-D player in this contending team.
Stopped Anthony Edwards?
No, I'm not even asking him to be a stopper. But
he needed an out for some level of resistance.
He's clearly a secondary defender on a high level unit.
Like, Anthony Edwards historically has not been held or limited in any
Christian
capacity.
Brown,
on the star players
Christian Brown historically has guarded Ant well in previous playoff matchups. If you look at the shooting percentage, he has held Anthony Edwards to subpar shooting percentages for his standards. The thing is that last year he didn't play defense at all.
Yeah.
So that's an issue.
Nobody did, to be fair. Not many players on the Nuggets can play defense at a high level other than Aaron Gordon.
He had moments against Ant, but 6 out of 7.
He doesn't get that excuse.
6 to 7.
Who?
Christian Brown. Because that's what he's getting paid to do.
But he was injured.
He's getting paid to defend.
Before that, 7 out of every 10 possessions, he's getting cooked by an elite level player, and he's not a stopper.
Mm-hmm.
He might have 3 possessions where he's able to hold his own, but more often than not, he's clearly overtasked in that role, and that's the issue. You already don't have the supporting personnel, so you need an even higher level of a perimeter defender. You need an Asar Thompson to truly be able to put out those fires, and he's one of the worst perimeter stoppers in the role he's being paid to be in.
Here's the thing, is that the Nuggets have a solid core still. I think the depth around the team is uninspiring. The core is still there. I also have an issue with just letting Jokic skate by on these things.
I don't disagree too much.
Most of all the Nuggets' defensive problems come from Nikola Jokic being one of the worst defenders for his position in basketball.
I agree with you.
Nikola Jokic has not been the same level of offensive, unstoppable engine in the playoffs. Against a Timberwolves team had Anthony Edwards hurt in that series, and Ayo Dosunmu comes out of nowhere and torches you for 40 in that series. You're telling me with the hurt Anthony Edwards, you can't will your team to win that series? He shot 19% from 3. Over the 2 of the last 3 playoffs for him, and the year before last season's, he shot 26% from 3. Against OKC, in a 7-game series. Last season, he shot poorly from 3. Him being such a great outside shooter at his very best in the postseason is why we brought him up into all-time offensive conversations, because it's like, listen, how can you guard him? He is unstoppable at the rim. He's efficient. He's the greatest playmaker that we've ever seen at his position, and he can shoot from the outside. Like, how can you guard that? But as of recently, he hasn't shot with that same level of efficiency. So defenses aren't being threatened in the same way. They sag off of Jokic now, and they dare him to take those shots, and he can't make them. So I think that the Nuggets, it doesn't fall on Jokic. Would a better supporting cast help these things? Yes. But Jokic, the best offensive player in the world, some say, has not been that in the postseason. And Jokic has been such a bad defender that the offense is not made up for him being that bad on defense in the last couple of postseasons. So for me, even though I agree with the Nuggets front office malpractice, I agree with how they have managed the situation with Nikola Jokic. Jokic has also been below his standards. And if he was better, then they should have beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round with an injured Anthony Edwards. I would assume shouldn't be looking like the best player in a playoff game and having 40 points on you because he doesn't respect your defense or any of the players on your defense. He sets the tone. So for me, even though I agree with the front office mismanagement, Jokic hasn't been his best self, and we don't call a spade, and we don't say, listen, he's been underperforming too. And he has been underperforming.
Let me ask you a question, Joel. Before Jokic had a wrist injury in the middle of last season, he was shooting 44% from 3.
It was
and
really
having
automatic.
one of the best offensive seasons of his career. Do you feel like the wrist injury had nothing to do with this? I mean, it sounds like what you're saying is that you're not really looking at the injury, and it sounds like you're overlooking it entirely.
That would be foolish. The injury, of course, played a role.
You just haven't mentioned that yet.
Okay. What did
he was shooting 44%.
What did he shoot after? What did he shoot after
the
the injury? Not postseason, just from that point on.
A lot worse.
Okay, tell me what was it?
I will look it up.
Was it 19% from 3?
I'm not Claude. I couldn't tell you.
Okay,
I'm not Claude.
All right, so he doesn't even have those numbers in front of me.
No, I mean,
all right, let's
just
see,
told
because
you.
44 was crazy.
Of course,
see.
44 is crazy, but if that dropped to 36% from 3, and then in the playoffs you shot 19%, you cut your percentage in half even
I hear
after
what
the
you're
injury.
saying. I definitely hear what you're saying.
So I need to know the context of what he shot after the injury.
I'm looking it up now.
If it was poor from the entire time,
31%.
okay, and 31 to 19 is a big fall off, regardless of how you slice it.
He went from 44 to 31. Any which way
Talking
you shake
about
it
a
sucks.
Okay, so
5-game
clearly
sample.
the wrist injury, nobody's saying that the wrist injury had nothing to do with it. Nobody's saying that at all.
He's never mentioned it.
The wrist, no, it's not that I didn't mention it. It's just
you
it's
didn't.
because that great players overcome. Jalen Brunson won the NBA Finals with a broken wrist.
I mean, just
Jalen
affects
Brunson,
people differently,
he went on
maybe,
a
man.
3-game heater to close the NBA Finals with a wrist injury. You know, Jalen Brunson played with the wrist injury the entire way. Right now, he got a cast on it because he got surgery on it.
Mhm.
He played with wrist injury.
He's a
Did
warrior.
Did that affect his shooting in the finals, John? No,
did
it
a little
didn't.
bit.
He overcame it.
When did he get
Honestly.
injured?
Jokic,
He came back in like
December?
February.
Oh, no. It was like I want to say a little bit out of New Year.
But still, 44 is elite. Going from 44 to 31, yes, you can blame it on the wrist injury. 31 is still at the very least like, okay, maybe I need to guard a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
19, he went from 31% to 19% from 3. That's a big fall off
but-
regardless of how you shake it.
I think just
And he attempted 6 threes a game.
John's point at the minimum was he was on his way to his best offensive season we've seen, and it's true. What we were watching was otherworldly offense, otherworldly efficient offense. He gets injured. His shooting was never the same for the rest of the season.
He had a game where he went 1 for 13 from 3.
On top of that the fact that you are right, he went from 31 to 19, which is dramatically worse. He's going up against one of the best defenders against Nikola Jokic.
I mean, the game plan is to sag off a Jokic.
As you should.
And he's missing his shots.
But you should sag off Jokic, especially when he's struggling to shoot as is. And you know you can't stop him when he goes down or when he's near the basket.
I mean, you need to shoot better than 19%. He shot 31% after the injury, which means that he dropped off 12 percentage points from 3.
Well, you're looking
In
at
the
a
playoffs
5-game
still.
series, a 36
And he shot poorly.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
did.
And he shot poorly. So you're a great player. Figure out how to work around your injury.
But
Anthony Edwards was out.
And on top of it, Aaron Gordon was out.
Anthony Edwards.
They should have won the games with Ant out.
They should have won the games with Ant out for
he
sure.
wasn't. It felt like he was barely even there in that series.
But also the series that you criticized him for was last year versus Oklahoma City.
Oh yeah, he shot 32% from three in that series.
On top of that, Aaron Gordon was gutting through that whole series.
Of course, but what is the correlation here?
The correlation is that the Nuggets go as far as their health allows them
Jokic
to.
was still 26, 13, and 10 last year.
In Minnesota, in the
against Minnesota. Yeah, like he still went out there and put up crazy numbers.
Yeah,
you
but
know
he's
what I
giving
mean?
up 50.
No, I understand. And the shooting was
criticize
horrible.
Jokic for his defensive lapses, I totally get it.
Okay.
But if you're going to criticize him for his offense when it was clearly after a wrist injury, which was really affecting him, I'm never going to
Nobody's telling him to take those shots. He knows he has a wrist injury, and he's openly taking 6 threes a game.
Didn't you just say they were leaving him open?
So
Which they were giving him open.
So
looks.
he still decided to take a shot. Just because you're being left open doesn't mean you got to take a shot. So he still took the shot, and he went from 31% post injury to 19%. That's still a drastic drop off that you're completely overlooking. And the year before, I'm talking about 2 seasons ago now, not the series against OKC, but the playoff run before when they lost to the Timberwolves in 7 games, and they blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, right, to allow Minnesota to win that game. Jokic was part of that as well. He shot 26% from 3 in that playoff run. So it's not like we only have one playoff series sample size where Jokic has been below his standards from 3-point land. We have seen multiple now. And a big allure of his is being able to be an elite outside shooter, and he hasn't been that as of recently. And the offense hasn't overshadowed how bad he is defensively. He bleeds so much defensive value.
37% from 3.
Okay, but what about the last 3 years, John? What did you shoot from 3?
Well, you're looking at a very small sample.
Can you tell me?
I'm not going to.
Oh, because he knows it's going to be like 21% from 3.
I want to be accurate.
Okay, then what is it then?
A little bit better.
A little bit better. I'm not saying Jokic deserves the most blame. I'm just saying that any other star player would get held accountable if they are below their standards. And Jokic was. And this is a series in which the opposing team's best player wasn't on the floor for a majority of it. And you didn't even make the series competitive. The closeout game, Ant didn't play. And we're like, yo, maybe Denver got a chance. They got smoked. Come on, man. Nah. You're an all-time player. If the best player on the opposing team's not there, you got to win that.
Best part about it is that at no point in that series you count Denver out. And there's a reason why.
Yeah, and I was wrong. I was wrong.
You can't go out like that. I do hear what Joel's saying.
I was wrong. I didn't count them out because of Jokic. And then he was also one of the reasons why they lost.
Yeah,
I think he was one of the reasons, but what was he, like 5th on the list of reasons?
Man, his defense is number 1 reason why they're so bad.
What about Jamal Murray dropping off from all-star, all-NBA to he's in a box, he's useless to us?
He wasn't useless. Jamal Murray had more games in that series where he led the team in points.
What was his efficiency, Joel?
So I'm
looking at Jamal Murray. Question.
All right, let's look at Jamal Murray. The first game he wasn't efficient, but I'll go game by game for you.
What was he in the series? Just could get overview first.
Okay, in the series, Jamal Murray averaged 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. He shot 35% from the field and 26% from 3.
Pretty horrible.
So looking at the game logs in the playoffs for him in that series, in the first game, he went 7 for 22, which tanked his efficiency, but he had 30 points in that game. And if you remember watching that game, he went 7 for 22, but he went 16 for 16 from the line. Mm-hmm. He was perfect from the line. He had 30 in that game. He was a plus 13 in that matchup. In the second game, he had 30 points, 44% from the field, 43% from 3. In game 3, he had 16 points, worst game of the series so far, 5 for 17, over 5 from 3, 29%. Then in game 4, 10 for 25, 40% from the field, 43% from 3, 3 for 7, and he had 30 points. And then in game 5, he had 24 points on bad efficiency, 9 for 23, 39%, 2 for 6 from 3, 33%. And the closeout game, he had 12 points. They got smoked, 4 for 17, 0 for 2. Still, Jamal Murray had 3 30 balls in that series, and he had one game where he had 24. So Jamal Murray had like 4 really good games, or 4 good games, I should say, and 2 really bad stinkers. So yeah, Jamal Murray, he was a problem, no doubt. Like, They lost as a team. A lot of them were issues. But the biggest defensive problem is Jokic, like by far none. And he didn't make up for his offense either. Like, he shot 19% from 3 as well.
You hear that?
Like, he didn't shoot well either.
You hear that?
Yeah, I heard.
What did you hear?
I heard it. Listen, I agree with the defense. I mean, it's something that we've talked about ad nauseum at times because it's very important and it does cap their ceiling.
They also have 0 perimeter defense.
No,
Seems whack,
exactly,
bro.
but
it's not good enough. I don't know, John.
No, the Nuggets
respect it.
literally
I-
go as
I
far
don't
as
see
like,
it as-
please, Jokic, I'm begging you, carry us to the moon. So much so that we're scrutinizing him for.
Because I just don't think
Shooting
Jamal
like
Murray's
shit.
going out there and competing with Minnesota or the Spurs or OKC. I don't know if Aaron Gordon's gonna be able to stay healthy. I don't know if Jokic's defense is ever gonna be good enough. I just feel like there's way too much to put him in the tier
the
with
thing
other
is
guys.
that Denver has limitations, but a big limitations of theirs is Jokic's defense.
Yeah,
that is a big limitation.
sure.
And when you have to be all-time historically great for you to mask how much value you bleed on defense, when you can't get to that level, we see how vulnerable they become.
Mhm.
And for the most part, them not getting to that level is in part because of Jamal Murray not being the same playoff performer, Jokic not having the same shooting splits from the outside that he has, and he's not able to maintain that shooting efficiency. And then it's been their injuries and the inconsistency at the 2-guard spot. There are reasons for it, but Jokic is also a reason. He doesn't completely get no blame here.